some bad news. I knew it. I love when he does that.
Well, once you hit rock bottom, the only way to go is up. So good luck, okay? Good luck.
You say rock bottom, but, like, it just seems like things keep getting worse. What is rock bottom? Who decides what's the bottom of all this? I mean, seriously, you go, okay, today is Friday, and I woke up in Cleveland, and I'm going, how much worse can it get?
I've been very blessed to have two families, my wife and my children, and then my family on the road.
I still feel 25 most of the time. I still raise a little Cain with the boys.
Guys like Bryan Adams, Yokozuna, The Godfather, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Bret Hart, Mick Foley, obviously the Mayor, Kane, Edge. Obviously, I can't name everybody, leave somebody out, but it's important to know how much you guys meant to me, not only on a professional level, but on a personal level. So many people that I consider true, great friends, that I just can't thank you guys enough. Obviously, Vince always had my back, and I have to say, thank you.
Sometimes I feel like Jesse James, still trying to make a name, knowing nothing's gonna change what I am. I was a young troubadour when I wrote in on a song. I'll be an old troubadour when I'm gone. I was a young troubadour when I wrote in on a song. And I'll be an old troubadour when I'm gone.
I considered myself blessed to be able to do something for as long as I've been able to do it.
I'll be an old troubadour when I'm gone.
There ain't no grave can hold my body down. There ain't no grave can hold my body down. When I hear that trumpet sound, I'm gonna rise right out of the ground. Ain't no grave can hold my body down. Well, look way down the river. What do you think I see? I see a band of angels, and they're coming after me. Ain't no grave can hold my body down. There ain't no grave can hold my body down. Well, look down yonder, Gabriel. Put your feet on the land and see. But Gabriel, don't you blow your trumpet till you hear from me. There ain't no grave can hold my body down. Ain't no grave can hold my body down. Well, meet me, Jesus, meet me. Meet me in the middle of the air. And if these wings don't fail me, I will meet you anywhere. Ain't no grave can hold my body down. There ain't no grave can hold my body down. Well, meet me, mother and father, meet me down the river road. And mama, you know that I'll be there when I check in my load. Ain't no grave can hold my body down. There ain't no grave can hold my body down. There ain't no grave can hold my body down.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 303 of the Hoots podcast. This is our WrestleMania 38 preview. No! This is going to be a fun episode today, guys. We got a lot to talk about. I'm mostly stirring the ship this week. Brett Carter was only able to send a Thoughts of Dericho clip, which is okay. Life gets in the way. We all get busy. No problemo. It is just truly the nefarious brother, Adam, a.k.a. Joshie Lopez. You can follow me on Twitter at Josh Lopez Media, at Joshie Lopez 94 on Instagram, and at Josh Lopez Music. If you want to see me do some guitar covers, please do me a favor, especially throughout this week. Make sure to bookmark ProWrestlingTranscriptions.com. That's my website where I do my play-by-play articles. And I will have articles down. I will have articles published in Dallas this weekend. I'm going down to Dallas tomorrow morning. I'm going to be down there from Friday to Tuesday. So hopefully for those who listen to the Who's podcast or join my transcripts on PWT or formerly known Lords of Pain, WrestlingHeadlines.com. If you guys see me, if you guys recognize me, come say hello. I'd love to meet some of you guys down there. There's nothing like WrestleMania week, and I definitely want to express that when we get to the WWE Summit this week and just, talk about the magnitude of what this week is. And I feel like we need to have a discussion about gratitude about the industry that we're covering and talking about, because I feel like a lot of us try to act too many times like we're the smartest people in the room and try to watch shows with fucking inspector glasses and they have monocular glasses on and an inspector pad next to them. It's like you're not watching a wrestling show to audit it. I transcribe wrestling shows, but there's still a part of me where I can still enjoy the show for what it is as a fan. I'm not transcribing the show to find things to bitch about. When it comes to AEW, it just hits me in the face of what's wrong with AEW. There is a difference. I'm not outwardly going my way like, oh, that right there, that's wrong with AEW. It literally slaps you in the face when you watch their show. Just like everybody, I want everything in wrestling to be awesome. I cover 7 different promotions every single week. I cover around 18 wrestling shows a week, and I try my best to give you the best coverage that I can. It's fair, and I don't really inject my booking opinions because I'm not in the professional wrestling business. I'm not an expert. I come on here. I've been covering the industry for 9 years now, and I've been very fortunate for the opportunities that have been given to me to have a platform like this to express my opinions on wrestling to you. This is also not just a wrestling podcast. It's a live podcast. It's a personal journal. It's a entryway to the lives and thoughts of professional wrestling podcasters and content creators. And we are live from our studio apartment in Chicago, Illinois. Shout out to Colt Cabana there. Not trying to rip you off, good brother, but it is what it is. And I'm just very excited for this weekend. It should be a good time. This is my 6th WrestleMania that I've been able to attend. And this is going to be probably the most fun that I've had for out of the ones that I went to. It's crazy to say that I kind of traveled across the country for WrestleMania events. The first one that I got to go outside of Chicago was WrestleMania 31, which was the only one that I got to go to cover as part of the media. I've been down to New Orleans, obviously Orlando at the Dump, at Camping World Stadium, and Tampa Bay last year. And then This is my first time going to Texas. I've never been to Texas before. I'm very, very intrigued to see how that weekend is going to be like. For those who know me personally, I've been trying to scout the world and see what's the right place for me to move down the road. And maybe Texas will be the place. No, I ain't moving to Texas. No shot. No offense to you, Blake, and everybody that lives down there in Texas, but I ain't moving down there. No shot. But I guess you guys can hear this in the sound of my voice as you listen to this. I'm just very excited. We got to celebrate episode 300 of the Hoots podcast a couple weeks ago, and we had a lot of great feedback, and the numbers for the podcast over the last couple weeks have been fucking awesome. You guys have been killing it. You guys have been really expressing your opinions, and I love the feedback that we get through the weekend when we post the shows and stuff like that. And again, like I said in that episode, it really pushes me and gets me more excited for the future of the show. And hey, we said we're on the road to 500. We're already here. Episode 303, 197 to go. You guys make this worthwhile, and me and Brett Carter can't say enough how grateful we are for people like you to give us a platform like this and to try to talk about professional wrestling in a fun way and more insightful way than insulting your intelligence and also acting like our shit don't stink. So all that being said, thank you guys. Let's have some fun. Let's get into the Good Birds Q&A session. We always do this for the podcast. It's one of my favorite segments of the week as I get to interact with those who take time in their day to ask me questions about wrestling or sports or life. And boy, is there a lot of stuff to talk about this week, huh? Let's start off with the Good Bird, Chris Saletta, XTeamSaletta24X on Twitter. He says, "What up, Oos? Here's some questions for the Q&A this week. Enjoyed this weekend in Dallas. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much. With crossing the card for Lone Star, do you think he could appear on Supercard of Honor? I don't know. There's a weird thing going on, especially tomorrow night, because this is all going down in WrestleCon. There's one thing I do bum me out about WrestleMania weekend. I just don't get the time enough to go check out the WrestleCon stuff. I don't. Either the place is too far from my hotel, or I just don't have the money to go check it out. That's the bummer part. But anyways, they're doing tomorrow, which I don't understand. Whatever. I mean, I think both Impact and especially New Japan that they're doing these specials on Fight TV would be better off doing it during the day on Saturday or Sunday instead of doing it late at night. But they're running Lone Star Shootout plus taping of New Japan Strong. They got Impact multiverses of matches that's going on tomorrow night as well. And then Ring of Honor's Supercard of Honors late at night as well. So I just don't know how you're going to fit in. Like, Ishii's doing 2 matches tomorrow. I saw Suzuki's going to be in 2 matches. The Briscoes are fighting FTR on Supercard of Honor and fighting the Good Brothers at the Impact show. I just don't know how they're going to pull all this off. So I don't know how far the Curtis Caldwell Center is to the hotel that WrestleCon's at this year. But if Cross does show up, cool. But he's going to have himself a pretty physical match with Suzuki Minoru. I don't know how they're going to pull that off. So I think it'd be cool, Chris, but I'm not getting my hopes up on that. I will say I will cover that Lone Star event. For those who are wondering, as far as my coverage is concerned, a lot of articles, like most cases, are going to be on delay just due to the fact that I like covering the shows after they're done so I can keep my attention there and not be distracted by social media. And also, the transfers come off better when I do it after the shows are aired. And I can type it down properly. And that's going to be the case this weekend, especially because I'm attending events. So you're not going to see me post SmackDown articles right off the bat, right after the show's over, like I usually would do an hour after the show's over. It's going to be a different weekend. I probably think the only show I probably cover live this weekend will be NWA USA, but that's early in the morning, so it's something I can do in the hotel. But honestly, this weekend's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm going to try my best to unwind a little bit. So I do apologize in advance that the transfers are going to come a little later than they usually would, but I hope you guys will understand that I'm also trying to enjoy a little, I wouldn't say vacation, but a trip in itself. So that's a great question. Here's another good one here. Favorite Triple H matches and moments. Oh, man. I heard the news this week about Triple H and really bummed me out. I heard about it on Friday, and it bummed me down. I won't lie to that. For those who know me, I'm a really big advocate of the game Triple H, and I've always admired his work over the years, and I've always admired the person that he is, and he's definitely one of the wrestlers that I've looked up to for a very, very long time. And Triple H, I would say Triple H is definitely in my top 5 of my personal favorite wrestlers and my guys. I put hashtag Stu in the game for a reason, not just because it displays what's true about myself and how I carry myself with my work ethic, but it's also in dedication to Triple H as well. So, when you adopt a moniker after somebody, it bums you out a little bit to hear him retire that way. But more important for me, I'm just happy for him that he's in a good place in his heart right now, and he's in good spirits, and he's making the right decision for himself, and that's more important than getting back in the ring for another match. So as bummed as I am that I won't get to see another match with Triple H in person, I'm just happy that he's still here, and he still has a lot to contribute. And, let him go at it at his own pace. I don't think they need to rush him back into NXT or what his previous roles were before this unfortunate situation happened last year. I've always admired Paul Levesque, Triple H, whatever you want to call him. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and it's a man that I look up to in many, many ways. So it was really sad news. But as far as favorite matches and moments, there's a lot of them. I always say one of my favorite WrestleMania matches, and a match that doesn't get enough conversation for its for the totality of what that moment was John Cena and Triple H from WrestleMania 22. I know a lot of people put over the John Cena and Shawn Michaels match from the next year more than that one, but that's only because people look at Shawn Michaels at a higher level. I really thought the passing of the torch for John Cena was not JBL at WrestleMania 21. It wasn't Shawn Michaels. To me, it was Triple H, because Triple H was the measuring stick of the WWE during that time period. And for him to, go out like that and put John over like that at WrestleMania was very special. And that match still ranks very high to me as far as the bar of high quality world title matches at WrestleMania or any kind of pay-per-view. That match is up there. Just listen to the crowd. I was there, 11 years old, hear every curse word known to man thrown at John Cena during that match. It was absolutely insane. Oh man, WrestleMania 22 was 16 years ago. Holy shit, man. Crazy how fast time goes. There's other ones, obviously, Triple H and Shawn Michaels from SummerSlam. The Triple Threat match for WrestleMania 20 is still one of my favorite WrestleMania matches of all time. I love the stuff that he did with him, with Batista, to wrap up Batista's career. I thought that was really cool in a way that sent Dave off for his career. Man, there's so many to choose from. The reuniting of DX and them doing the graffiti of Vince's private jet. I thought that was great. Or Titan Towers, or messing around with the audio. He makes Vince sound like a chicken and wherever. Do you think this is funny? Maybe you think this chicken was funny? Oh, man. Triple H is the man. And, of course, Triple H, again, another example of why Triple H is very important to me. As I wanted to showcase how much Triple H meant to me. I aired every single edition of the sit-down interviews that Triple H did with Michael Cole while I was attending broadcasting school and on my old radio show, The Pro Wrestling Experience. That's how we closed our show. For every edition of the PW show, you got that interview with Michael Cole and Triple H when they did it. So, to tell you what, man, he had an amazing career. I know people are going to be out for him because he's married to the family and everything that McMahon does is the worst thing ever and blah, 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 blah. People have their opinions on Vince McMahon, whatever. For me, Triple H is a legend in more ways than one. What he did for NXT to get out off the ground, the Cruiserweight Classic, the Mae Young Classic, the launch of NXT UK, which is my favorite WWE show that's produced each week. Triple H is a fucking legend, man, and sometimes I don't think he gets enough props for what he's done for this industry, and he's the man. So shout out to Triple H for a legendary career, man. One of a kind, awesome performer. Next question. Are you covering any of these shows outside of WWE this weekend? Lone Star, Supercard of Honor, and Multiverse. Yes, I will be covering all three in different time periods. Probably the latest one I'll have published is the Supercard of Honor show. It's just so much going on. But I do make a commitment to cover every single televised event that New Japan does, so I will do that. I will also do the Impact Multiverses matches because that helps me out as well. But I'll cover those for sure. And then, of course, we got NWA USA that I got to do, New Japan Strong, but those are like late nights or early morning at the hotel before I go sleep or when I wake up type of articles. So I will have those out for you guys. And don't worry, I still be working even though I'm in Dallas this weekend. All right, next question here we have here on the podcast. It's what match are you looking forward to on both nights 1 and night 2? There's a lot of them. I've been saying I've been looking forward to Charlotte and Ronda Rousey. I'm really into matches that people like to shit on before it happens because I think that's when the best comes out of them, and nobody does better than proving people wrong or wrestling with a chip on their shoulder than Charlotte Flair. Nobody. Look at what Charlotte Flair did in the match she had with Rhea Ripley at last year's Money in the Bank pay-per-view where the crowd was openly shitting on it during chanting for Becky and how she turned the crowd. It was that moment for there that I'm not going to denigrate Charlotte Flair. When you turn a crowd over that's openly shitting on you and then chanting, "This is awesome," you're on a different level. And I don't care how you feel about Charlotte Flair. That's just a fact. When you can turn a crowd that's indifferent to "this is awesome," you're on a different level as a performer. And I think she's going to do stuff that's going to be awesome. She's going to come there with a chip on her shoulder, and good on her because she doesn't get enough respect for what she does. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I think Ronda wants to put on an impressive performance as well. So I know that's a match people are kind of sleeping on right now, but I think that's going to be pretty dope, actually. There's other matches throughout the show for both nights I'm looking forward to, like the Triple Threat tag match for the Raw Tag Team titles. I think that's going to be dope. We saw the awesome one on Raw a couple weeks ago. I think this one should be pretty cool as well. Hell, have that match start off night 2. Why not? That'd be an awesome match. Give them 20 minutes or so, put on a barn burner. That'd be great. Wouldn't have a problem with that. Edge and AJ Styles, obviously that's another popular choice and with good reason. I'm very excited for that match. It's going to be awesome. I'll put Brock and Rollins aside because obviously that's just the obvious picks to go out there. I'm excited for Becky and Bianca. I think that'll be a good match as well. Curious to see what goes down with Seth Rollins. And that's pretty much it. The card in general is pretty good from top to bottom. I'm excited to see my guy Pat McAfee do his thing and beat up that douche, Austin Theory. But all in all, man, WrestleMania is going to be a fun weekend. I'm very excited to be down there. So, what matches are you guys looking forward to for Mania this weekend? I'd love to get you guys' thoughts on that. All right, next question. We have here new champions crowned after Mania. Yes, I think there'll be. Well, obviously, we'll have a new unified champion. So obviously, that's. I think we'll have 3 new champions, but Chris, I will save my thoughts on that when we make predictions for the show. After Brock and Roman match, do you think The Rock makes an appearance? I'll make a quick answer to this. Yes, I think that will happen. Next question. Thoughts on Toni Storm joining AEW? Let's address it, pointing out the recent female signings, Kiera Hogan, Ruby Soho, Mercedes Martinez, and AQA. I'm happy for Toni Storm. I've always enjoyed her work over the years. I subscribe to the philosophy, if you don't want to work at some place, you don't have to work there, especially if you're an independent contractor. I'm not going to come on here and tell you that Toni Storm's a crybaby and blah, 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 blah. It's one thing to quit and demanding your release. I don't have a stance on that field. Here's my thing. If she did not want to be in WWE, that's on her. And I don't have a problem with that. If you don't want to be somewhere, don't be there. It's a little different from how Jeff Hardy handled his most recent exit from WWE, which was completely unprofessional. And to own up and saying, "Oh, I just thought I could walk out because I thought I could, and there wouldn't be any repercussions." Well, you're in a promotion that it's Wild Wild West. You can do whatever you want, pal. So I hope it works out for Jeff. But when it comes to Toni, if she didn't want to be there, she don't have to be there. And it doesn't have to be a scenario where I can't believe WWE dropped the ball with Toni Storm. If anything, that was dropped the ball with her was with her when she came to NXT more than her being on SmackDown. Hell, she got more title matches on SmackDown than she did the main NXT Women's title in NXT. She had a phenomenal run in NXT UK. I covered the entire thing. But there's some people that come up with narratives with performers that come from NXT UK, and I can tell that they didn't watch the show. And it's like certain things will happen to them on NXT 2.0, or they'll come up on Raw, SmackDown, and they're like, "Oh, they're not booked the same way that they were in NXT UK." You didn't watch the show. Okay? Let's not try to pretend that you watched every single edition of NXT UK from the start and know their character development and where they got the start from. And that Toni Storm took time off after she lost her match to Rhea Ripley to gather herself emotionally and mentally. Let's not grasp at straws at stuff that's not there. For her to join AEW, good for her and good for them. My stance hasn't changed, whether it's male or female. You can load up rosters as much as you want. What are you going to do with them? And are you making the most out of it? Bringing in Jay Lethal just to have him lose every top guy in AEW and then him turning heel does nothing for me. And I'll explain that a little later on in the show. So I think it's a good signing for them. She's a talented performer, and I wish her nothing but the best. But for me, it doesn't change my stance. AEW is still good at AEW, and that's my thoughts on that. Say that AEW doesn't do the same things that WWE does is just funny to me. They play favorites too. Let's not fool ourselves. All right, next question. From our guy, Rated PWF, my man Patrick Fritz. What's going on, my man? Do you see future Mania weeks shaping up the way this is in terms of scheduling of programming? Hall of Fame on Friday night after SmackDown, maybe rebranding Raw and SmackDown to WrestleMania Raw and WrestleMania SmackDown. As far as the rebranding to WrestleMania Raw and WrestleMania SmackDown, that's just for TV purposes. It's nothing that I wouldn't lose much sleep over, to be honest with you. A lot of it's window dressing and pyro and ballyhoo of wrestling and marketing and distribution. That's what it is in general. I think this may be the future where we do have 2 nights of WrestleMania, but I think maybe WWE will have to reevaluate when they air the WWE Hall of Fame. Is this something that you do before the Royal Rumble? Is it the Hall of Fame something you do before SummerSlam? You know, there's a lot to go on, and I'll admit, if Taker was not going into the Hall of Fame this year, I probably would have gone. I probably would have gone to either the Impact show or the Supercard of Honor show. So I think for me, future Manias will look like this. And I'm curious to see how it goes because they got this new deal with On Location, which I guess is going to lead into more. It's going to come where WWE is going to come off like more like big league, like NFL and other events where tickets are going to start rising, and it's going to have more of like a corporate feel than just a wrestling show. So they're reaching a new territory as a company, and they earn it. So yeah, yeah, bro, I do see it happen that way as far as what the schedule will be. But as far as like the rebranding of like WrestleMania Raw and WrestleMania SmackDown, that's just hoopla and window dressing. WrestleMania is WrestleMania. So that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that. Let's go to Mike at Twitter at Main Event Sport. Mike from Houston, what's going on, my man? What is a great city or state you have visited but has not had a WrestleMania? How would you suggest WWE capitalize in the place to have their big weekend there? That's a good question. I got to remember the places I traveled to now. I've been to Boston twice. They've had a WrestleMania there before, so that's going to be a no. Obviously, Florida, no. Been there, done that. I got to say probably Tennessee. I only say Tennessee because I drove past it on my way back to the airport, but I have family down in Tupelo, Mississippi from my mom's side of the family. So maybe if they bring WrestleMania to Nashville, I think that'd be pretty cool if they do it at the place where the Titans are playing. Hell, they're having SummerSlam there for WrestleMania. Not my bad. They're having SummerSlam down in Nashville this year, right? So there's a lot of great places. Be interesting if they ever did a WrestleMania in Puerto Rico. That's the only other place that can come off at the top of my head as far as places I've been to. I think that'd be pretty dope. Can you picture a WrestleMania in Utah? I was at a Utah airport when they flying down to San Jose for WrestleMania 31, right? It was one of those trips where you had to take multiple stops, and that was a pain in the ass. But it was pretty cool. I was in Utah for the first time, just looking at the window at the airport I was at, and just looking at those awesome looking mountains. You know, they're like Crystal Lake Mountains and stuff like that. It's pretty fucking cool as a visual. It's like, wow, you hear about it and what Utah looks like and stuff like that. But to see it in person, it was like, wow, that's pretty dope. I haven't been to the city, so I don't know what the actual experience is like. But just look at the outskirts of what Utah looked like. It was pretty dope. I will say that. There's a lot of great places to do WrestleMania that hasn't been there yet. Minnesota. I haven't been to that new stadium, but I think it'd be pretty cool to see that there, you know. And I'm just really excited to see what goes out for future events. I know we got WrestleMania in LA at SoFi Stadium next year. That's going to be a fun trip. Go back to Cali. That should be a blast. And we'll see where it goes from there. Who knows? Maybe we'll go back to New Orleans. It seems to be certain cities that they go back to every 3 to 5 years. So we'll have to see how that works, man. Yes. Oh man, this will be a great time. I'm seeing right now that Randy Orton's at the Pat McAfee show. That should be pretty cool. I'll go check that out later on today. That's a great question, Mike. Thank you for sending that one. We have two more questions here before we wrap it up here. Question for Hoots: have you been watching WWE Evil yet? And if so, what is your favorite episode so far? Also, should there be a Mr. McMahon episode or not because he's executive producer too? I'm sure they'll have a Vince McMahon episode. Maybe season 2 or 3. I'll say this: WWE Evil is an interesting project. I haven't seen every episode yet. I've only watched 2. I've seen 3. I seen the Roman Reigns one. That's the first one that I saw. Then I saw Sasha Banks one, and then I saw The Miz. Those are the 3 that I saw. My favorite one that I've seen so far is actually The Miz. Because it just taps into what his contributions to the industry really is. And I feel a lot of people take it for granted and what he does. And it's one of those stories where, where maybe you don't feel like you belong to certain people. It's also a good reminder in life that you don't have to fit into the vision of other people's vision for you. You belong where you belong. You put in that work, you belong where you belong because you earned it and you got yourself to that point. So the Roman episode was fantastic as well. I like the concept. I really do. I just haven't seen all the episodes yet. I haven't seen the Hogan one or Stephanie McMahon. I haven't seen that yet. But yes, I definitely believe Vince McMahon will get an edition of that. It's a cool concept. I will give a shout out to everybody that came up with that show, especially Joshie, who's the narrator of the show. I like the concept. It's pretty cool. And then the last question this week comes from lovely Sarah Otomo here. She says, do you think Will Smith had every right to smack Chris Rock at the Oscars? Oh, man. This is what everybody's been talking about this week is Chris Rock and Will Smith. I'll tell you what, man. It's really, really interesting to me. The dichotomy of how this whole situation has gone down. Look, I am a person that I will protect my wife at all costs. That's just me. That's the type of person that I am. I'm also a person that knows how to take jokes and read a room where certain things are happening. Also, I just think it's a bad look when you're winning an award where you're playing this father figure, if you will, to the Williams twins. And it's a big popular movie, and he's winning the award for Best Actor. And then before you get the award, all people are talking about is you going there slapping Chris Rock in the mouth, and then furthering up say, keep my wife's name off your fucking mouth. Like, a lot of people handle their situations in a lot of different ways. I handle myself privately. That's just how I handle stuff. So unless it's something so egregious that I need to step in and do something about it, then obviously I would handle it from there. As a husband, yes, I think Will Smith was in the right for what he did. But I also think that's also a situation that could have been handled backstage at a different time. For even a guy like Will Smith, who also claimed to be a comedian and stuff back in the day, it's kind of hypocritical for him to get triggered like that at that point from a comedian that's going making the joke. I've always been a Chris Rock fan. I've always been a Will Smith fan. I was talking about this with my dad yesterday because he came by, and as a kid, I always watched The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That was like my morning routine. I've always watched The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Hell, I still watch it, the reruns, especially on VH1 and BET. But it's a shitty situation because it didn't need to happen. And I know a lot of people have been talking about it and debating about it and having funny memes about it. I've been kind of keeping myself distant from it because it's really, my opinion on the matter really doesn't matter to what actually happened. And it's unfortunate that's the takeaway from the Oscars. It's bad at the Oscars as it shows awkward as it is, where you have people record these scripts before they present an award. If you think the writing in WWE's bad, look at the fucking writing for the Oscars, where it's cringeworthy, where they just stammer and go on soliloquies about things just to get to the next award. It's it's very uptight environment. As a husband, I think Will Smith was in the right in defending his wife and what she's dealing with. So I don't have a problem for him defending his wife in that manner. I would have went about it differently, maybe more than what Will Smith did, but that's just me. Everybody has their opinions on it. People handle reactions to insults and jokes in different ways. I'll admit I'm not the best person when it comes to reacting to sarcasm. Like, I can't. So sometimes I can't depict if somebody's trying to mess with me or just joking around sarcastically. So I can own up to that. But for me, the man's honoring his wife and this protecting her. So I understand where he came from. It's hard. And his thing, it gets into that interesting dynamic and conversation like, hey, do you go out of your way to defend your wife, but this is also the same wife that tried to justify having an entanglement with another dude just because you guys are partially separated at the time? Like, there's not a right or wrong in this situation. That's my point of view from all this, is looking back from a 30,000 degree view. So I would defend my wife, but I would handle this situation differently. But great questions all in all for everybody, from Sarah to Pat, Mike, and of course the good brother Chris 11. Thank you guys for sending some awesome questions this week. When we come back, we'll get to straight predictions and all things in together for what happened this week in WWE right here on Hoots Podcast. Yes, sir.
Pittsburgh! Acknowledge me! What really bothers me about Brock is just a couple of weeks ago, he was out for blood. It was personal to him. But he's already spilled my blood. In 2018, at WrestleMania 34, he busted my head wide open. Right here. Right here. One right here on the hairline, one across the top of my skull, and I bled all over New Orleans. He smashed my face to the point my children didn't even recognize me. My wife didn't want me in this business anymore. My father doubted me. My family was disappointed in me. And then he comes out here, and it's just a game now. Oh, we're talking about Suplex City. It's a carnival where it's a wedding now. The Titans are going to have babies. It's just a game. Okay, yo, that's all good because the tribal chief changed the game. We changed the game, and we're going to take everything from him. You see, I already took his advocate and upgraded him to a wise man. I took his claim to being the longest reigning champion in the past 35 years. I got my receipt, and I took his blood at Madison Square Garden. And this Sunday, I make the final move, and I'm going to take his title. And then, Brock, you're going to know what it's going to be like to make it personal. Because I'm going to make it personal. Because it's always been personal to me.
Welcome back to the Hoots Podcast. You talking to a fellow paisan here. How's the gabagool? How's the gabagool? How you doing? Keep the family moving. Yes. Oh, yeah, boy. WrestleMania is upon us. I'm recording this bad boy on a Thursday. 48 hours away from WrestleMania 38 at Jerry World. I'll tell you what, I'm kind of curious to see how big this fucker is. I've heard about it. I've seen pictures of it. My old man got to travel to Dallas last year with a friend of his, and he sent me a picture of the stadium. Like, oh my God, that looks like a literal planet ship. Gabagool, not the gabagool. Oh man, it's going to be a blast. Time to talk about what happened this week in WWE as we continue on here in the Hoots Podcast. Very excited, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, to be down there in Dallas, and hopefully I get to see some of you guys in person. And hopefully get to meet some of you for the first time as well, so that'd be pretty cool. But we got a lot to discuss here and make some predictions. No! For WrestleMania 38. I guess before we get started here with the predictions, there's one piece of audio that I want to play and one that deserves audio to be played. And what's the one thing that I always talk about, especially when it comes to WWE? You always got to maximize your TV time. And nobody, in my opinion, in WWE this year, besides Roman and Brock Lesnar, have maximized their time on TV on the road to WrestleMania more than my guy, Kevin Owens. Enjoy it.
It was nothing compared to my tribute to Stone Cold Steve Austin last week. Okay? You all saw it. That was amazing. And you know, I heard people saying that somehow I was mocking Stone Cold. And you know what? Those are lies. What? I said those are lies. What? I said people saying that are lying. No, that was me paying homage to the great Stone Cold we all love and remember. And you know, I know everyone is absolutely ecstatic that Stone Cold Steve Austin is my guest on the KO show in the main event of WrestleMania Saturday. And so am I, okay, I am. But look, last week, that wasn't just me paying tribute to Stone Cold. That was also me doing everybody watching a favor, because you see, that last Monday night, me dressed up as Stone Cold Steve Austin, that is the closest we will ever get to the old Stone Cold we used to admire. Okay? Because that Stone Cold, he's gone. He's been gone for 19 years. What? He's been gone for 19 years. What? 19 years, and he ain't ever coming back. See, at WrestleMania on the KO show, it's not going to be Stone Cold, it's going to be Steve. It's not Stone Cold anymore, it's Steve, okay? That's cool. It's cool. It's Steve, the same Steve that's been drinking himself into oblivion for 19 years now. The same Steve who's so bored to tears on his stupid rant that he's begging everybody, please, can you come on my little podcast so we can talk about the old days and make me feel good again? Hey, but look, no, hey. That Steve, he still sounds like Stone Cold. He still looks like Stone Cold. We saw that video, right, of him in front of his little golf cart. It was heavily edited, I'm sure, but he still looks and sounds like Stone Cold. He even Steve, he even still talks a big game like Stone Cold because he knows he has to, but let me tell you all something. Steve is not coming to the KO show to pick a fight with me because he knows damn well what would happen if he picked a fight with Kevin Owens. He's coming to the KO show to have another nice little conversation about his career. He wants to have a nice little chat. And you know what, Steve? I'm so honored and happy that you accepted my invitation that I will do that for you. I'm a good person. I will give you the biggest platform you've ever had in your career on the WrestleMania main event edition of the KO show. So we can talk about you, make you feel good, and give you the little send-off you think you deserve. You know what? I'm even going to do something very special for you. See, because I hate beer. It's disgusting. But I'm gonna drink one with you, okay? We're gonna sit down together in the middle of the ring at AT&T Stadium and drink. We're gonna drink together, right? We can even toast. You know what? That's perfect. We will toast. We will toast to you, Steve Austin, finally, officially passing the torch to me, not only as the new Stone Cold, but the one true master of the stunner, because Owens 316 says my stunner is better than yours.
Fantastic. Round of applause for Kevin Owens. Oh, man. Shout out to KO. It's big killed it, man. You guys heard the Tribal Chief clip before we got started here. And just ready to let's get into these predictions for WrestleMania. And we're going to start off actually with NXT 2.0. We got NXT Stand and Deliver coming up this Saturday at the American Airlines Center. I was thinking of going to this event. Full disclosure, I was thinking about going, but I bought a travel package for WrestleMania, right? And they said to get ready to board on the coach. So basically, when it comes to WrestleMania travel package, they give you basically itinerary of things that are going on, and they give you like a free round trip transportation to the stadiums for the nights of WrestleMania. So again, kind of a scenario, kind of like what I mentioned earlier with the Hall of Fame. It's kind of a bummer that NXT was added on Saturday instead of doing it tomorrow during the day. Anyway, so I'm not going to be able to go to NXT. And they told me that the boarding for my ride to AT&T Stadium is at 2:30. So I got to be there. The TakeOver Stand and Deliver show starts at 12. There's no way that show's going to be over by the time I have to get on the bus, let alone have enough time to shower and stuff. And I'm not going to Mania with Muma Mayao. Like, I'm not going to Mania to sneak out the joint, you know? So, let's briefly go quickly with the predictions for this event. I think this should be a good show for top to bottom. There's some good matches. On the kickoff show, we got Toxic Attraction against Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai for the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. I think Raquel and Dakota will win this match. I can see some maybe Toxic retains, but I think they might have a nice little moment for the crowd and the audience at American Airlines at 10. So I think the match will be good, but I have Raquel and Dakota winning that match. Gunther against LA Knight. I have Gunther winning. This may be LA Knight's swan song in NXT, and hopefully so. I think Gunther will beat LA Knight. I have Cameron Grimes winning the NXT North American title in the ladder match. This could be a barn burner. Looking forward to it, but I think Cameron Grimes will find a way to win. It'll be either him or Grayson Waller that will win the North American title. I'll say that. I have The Creed brothers beating Imperium to become the new NXT Tag Team Champions. I have Mandy Rose retaining somehow, beating Kaylee Ray, Io Shirai, and Cora Jade. I have Tony D'Angelo defeating Tommaso Ciampa. And then finally we have Braun Breaker will beat Dolph Ziggler and become your new NXT champion. So I'm looking forward to this event. Like, there's some matches I'm really looking forward to typing out when I get back to the hotel. Like the triple threat for the tag. This should be fantastic. Same thing with Ciampa and Angelo. The ladder match, Gunther and LA Knight. This is a good card for Stand and Deliver. Don't get me wrong, it is. I think the ladies will try to find a way to steal the show. This is a big opportunity for Mandy Rose. This is probably the biggest match of her career. And it should be a barn burner. I'm looking forward to it. It should be a fun show. I'm really looking forward to it. Stand and Deliver should be a damn good card. Let's talk about WrestleMania. Let's get to that. That's what everybody's been waiting for. My predictions. No. The Mania of Wrestles. Let's start off with this. New Day against Sheamus and Rich Holland. I got the New Day defeating Sheamus and Rich Holland. Should be a good match. I got McIntyre over Corbin. I got The Miz and Logan Paul defeating the Mysterios. I think Dominic will turn on his father. It'll have a year build towards the end of Ray's career in California, in LA. I have The Miz and Logan Paul winning, and Logan Paul putting on a show to surprise everybody. I have the Usos retaining against Nakamura and Boogs. Boogs and Nakamura will eventually go their separate ways. Very excited to see what goes down for the Kevin Owens and Stone Cold Steve Austin thing. We know the drill, what's going to happen towards the end, so it's not really much that we need to break down from an analyst point of view. I just got to say that I'm very happy and very proud of Kevin Owens for where he is right now and what he's going to do this weekend. And for everybody, it's like, oh man, why is Kevin Owens wasting his time interacting with Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania? You'd be better off with the Elite. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, I need Kevin Owens to run away from Christian Cage. Get the fuck out of here. I got Becky Lynch losing the Raw Women's title to Bianca Belair. And I have Charlotte Flair retaining over Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's title. We'll have to see what goes down tomorrow night for SmackDown. I will be there, so maybe we'll have a segment with Charlotte and Ronda. We'll see how that works out between those two. And then what everybody wants to know, what's going to happen with Seth Rollins? Who is he going to fight? I had to say this and get off my chest really quick. For those who are building up their expectations to critique this WrestleMania based on rumors and innuendo, it's not WWE to blame, it's yourself to blame. And you need to look yourself in the mirror and stop allowing dirt sheets to dictate your opinions on shows. The same shit happened with the Royal Rumble. If Cody Rhodes does not show up to WrestleMania, it's not WWE's fault, it's your fault. Stop letting dirt sheets dictate your point of view in wrestling. It's got to stop. Do I think Cody will eventually fight Seth Rollins? Maybe. Maybe not. But I'm also in a position where I don't care if Cody Rhodes shows up. Look, I think it'd be very hypocritical for me to do the time we did on What the Hell's Wrong AEW, where I said that Jeff Jarrett 2.0 is coming in and taking the fun out of AEW, and they'd be like, throw that all to the side because he's in WWE. Wouldn't that be hypocritical of me of doing that? I respect the man, and I think if he did go back to WWE, maybe he'd do some better stuff, but I'm not coming here on pins and needles saying, oh, WrestleMania's going to live or die whether Cody Rhodes shows up or not. Respect the dude, but I'm not a mark for him. I've never been a mark for him. So if he shows up, cool. If he doesn't, okay. I'm not going to do the whole play-out routine because nobody lets anything play out in professional wrestling anymore. All I'll just say is actually watch what happens first before trying to go on a bitch fest about it and stop trying to act like you're the smartest person in the room. Let the shit happen for what it is and then assess from there. All right, night 2. Edge and AJ Styles. There's definitely a case for both guys winning, and this is one of the matches where I don't care who wins this match. It should be a fun match in general. I'm very excited to type that one out. I do have AJ Styles beating Edge. I will say that. I have the Street Profits beating Alpha Academy and RK Bro. Randy Orton will turn on Riddle on Sunday. That's going down. I got Bobby Lashley beating Omos. I got Johnny Knoxville with help from the Jackass crew beating Sami Zayn. That's going to be a fun match. I'm looking forward to it. I got Pat McAfee beating Austin Theory. I got Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan become the women's tag team champions. If not, it'll be Sasha Banks and Naomi. And then I got our tribal chief will put down the Beast Incarnate, Cowboy Brock Lesnar, at WrestleMania. So those are my predictions for WrestleMania and Stand and Deliver. I just want to say, before we get to our next segment here, honestly, for everybody, enjoy this weekend. If you're going to the shows, have a good time. If you're attending the shows this weekend, again, have a good time and put the booking stuff to the side for once. Let's enjoy this. We got 2 nights of WrestleManias in one of the biggest stadiums in the entire world. This is a big happening for professional wrestling. And this should be a fun time. Let's not overthink this. Let's not try to act like we're the smartest person in the room and then be disappointed out of it. Let's have some fun with this. It's WrestleMania. Let's have some fucking fun for once, guys. And the best part about going to these shows this weekend, that I will not be on Twitter, because I already know it's probably going to be a bitch fest by the time the show goes on air. So I'm just excited. Both nights have good matches to look forward to and stuff that can steal the weekend. But all in all, man, this should be a fun night, and I'm very excited for WrestleMania, and I'm excited to see Stand and Deliver as well. So all in all, that's my thoughts on WWE this week. All right, folks. It's time to give the folks what they want, what they've been waiting for, what they need. First off, I'd like to say congratulations to Zack Sabre Jr. for winning the 2022 New Japan Cup. I do want to give a big shout out to him there. So, with that being said, let's get into it. Time for what everybody's been waiting for. Another brand new edition of What the Hell is Wrong with AEW. We're going to start this off in a 3, 2, 1.
Beat your meat. 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 Beat your meat.
It's time for What the Hell is Wrong with AEW?
What to do, everybody? Let's get to it. What the hell is wrong with AEW? Okay, what isn't wrong with AEW? I like to say that, it's kind of a hard bar to lower the bar after last week's edition of Dynamite. And there's certainly maybe a couple things I can mention that I did like from last night's episode. I will say this. Last night's Dynamite was not as bad as last week's. So there's a little setup of an upgrade this week. I will admit to that. But we can't start this segment off without playing this. You want to talk about what's wrong with AEW? Let MJF tell you.
What the hell is that? What the hell is that, Aubrey? This is the problem.
Well, she had her back.
Aubrey's got to be the worst ref in the history of professional wrestling.
Is he wrong? I'll get to that in a couple minutes. Let's start off with the good stuff. Not partially good stuff, but I just wanted to play it for you guys. Here's Max Caster's rap to CM Punk last night.
And his opponent, Max Caster.
Oh, brother.
Yo! Listen! Yo! I'm like Will Smith. but you look like you hit more rocks than Hunter Biden. With your messed up teeth, your movie's the only way I'll ever go to sleep. You're not the voice of the voiceless. The ladies say you're the voice of the voiceless. And homie, you need to keep back. I have you crapping your pants like I'm a Z-Pack.
I only wanted to play that just for Bret Hart because the Acclaim is his new favorite tag team. No, I'm kidding. So it started off with CM Punk defeating the clown that is Max Caster in very quick fashion. Not sure this is how I would start off the show. Don't mind seeing Punk, don't get me wrong, but it kind of goes back to what I've been continuing to say on this podcast every single week. There's nobody that employs the drop the low theory more than Tony Khan. Lord, do I feel sorry for the women that he's with. So CM Punk did defeat Max Caster, and he got interviewed by Tony Schiavone right after.
There's a couple things I don't know. One, I don't know who the champion's going to be in a week's time. It's either going to be Adam Cole, baby, or I'm going to be looking down the barrel of some cowboy shit. There's a couple things I do know for a fact. There's a lot of gray in my beard, and before my time in AEW is over, there's going to be a lot more gray. There's scars on my head, and I know before my time in AEW is over, there will be a lot more scars. And the last thing I know, before my time in AEW is over, I will be world champion.
Let me hear it.
No problem on my end. No complaints on my end. I'm all for it. CM Punk has been fantastic in his return back to professional wrestling. And definitely justified to have a shot at the World Championship. Other stuff on the program that I did enjoy. I mentioned earlier despite my thoughts on Jay Lethal just being used to lose to every top guy to AEW. I did enjoy the match that he had with Jon Moxley. I thought that was a good match. But him turning heel, though, does nothing for me. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Coming up Friday on Rampage, the main event is Keith Lee and Powerhouse Hobbs. You couldn't wait to do that match? Just gotta throw it out there. Surprised they're not calling it Rampage Super Rampage this weekend. I guess we start off with this shit here, because I don't even know where to start. FTR against the Gun Club. You got to be, by far, the most incompetent official in all of officiating. If you can have a proper tag match without shenanigans when you have a team like FTR in it! Oh my god. Again, MJF, thank you for stating the obvious. Should we play this again?
What the hell is that, Aubrey? This is the problem.
Well, she had her back.
Aubrey's got to be the worst ref in the history of professional wrestling. It does not come close. Big hit.
Again, let's do this again.
What the hell is that, Aubrey? This is the problem.
Well, she had her back.
Aubrey's got to be the worst ref in the history of professional wrestling. It does not come close.
What else needs to be said? She's god awful at her job. If you can't have a competent tag match officiated with FTR in it, there's something wrong with you. My lord. Anyways, we had a brawl with the Jericho Kiss My Ass Club and Eddie Kingston, Santana Ortiz. Numbers just caught the numbers caught up to LAX and Eddie Kingston, so that was what it was. Not really a big fan of what's going on with them. I find it funny that Jericho is doing the sports entertainment gimmick, yet the entire narrative of him is just basically making fun of WWE. Jericho, I'm sorry you felt like you needed to main event over The Undertaker at a WrestleMania. I know your ego's out of the fucking planet, but you need to get over that shit. That was 5 years ago. Get over yourself. Jade Cargill will be having a match soon with Marina Shafir for the TBS title. That should be pretty interesting. Another thing from Dynamite that I liked last night was Bryan Danielson and Wheeler Yuta. I thought that was a good match, so kudos to you guys. Another crap part of Dynamite, and it continues to be a running thread, and that's a shame, because this definitely features the world champion. So we have Adam Cole and Red Dragon. By the way, keep all microphones away from Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish as soon as possible. Thank you. And I think this may be the 6th or 7th time in the last 10 weeks that I've seen Hangman Page and the Jurassic Express run into the ring after Adam Cole and Red Dragon. The shit's getting old, guys. Switch it up. Thunder Rosa's promo, I thought it was fine. Talked about Toni Storm earlier. Happy for her that she's at AEW. She's doing her own thing. She looked good in the ring. That's never been a problem with her. Her problem is the promotions that she's in. And well, hopefully she can change the narrative, but I don't have my hopes up for that. I'll just say that. FTR challenged the Hardly Boys to a match down the road. We'll see how that goes. I got no comment as far as the Nyla Rose promo. It sucked. This week on Rampage, we got the Young Bucks against Top Flight and a tumbling routine festival. They should call that Tumble Mania. Young Bucks against Top Flight. Good God. House of Black against the Dark Order and Fuego del Sol. Riveting shit, pal. Keith Lee and Powerhouse Hobbs. I'm sure there'll be shenanigans in it. How about this? The main event, Darby Allin against Andrade Idolo. Well, it wouldn't be an AEW main event without a bunch of brawling on the floor, on the outside, and an Afterbirth brawl. I will say that. But for the action that was inside the ring, I thought it was good. Especially the avalanche crucifix bomb that Allin did towards the end of the match. Andrade did win due to interference from the Butcher and the Baker, the Butcher and the Blade attacking Sting on the outside. Idolo won with the Hammerlock DDT. After match, post-match brawl, Afterbirth Jones. Hardy Boys coming to the ring to make the save to close out the show. All in all, I thought this was more of a paint-by-numbers edition of Dynamite. I wouldn't say this was a good episode. I wouldn't say it was god rotten like last week's episode was, but it's just another episode of AEW Dynamite. And that, my friends, is what the hell's wrong with AEW this week.
This has been What the Hell is Wrong with AEW.
Alright, guys. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me for this fun edition of the Hoots podcast. We'll be back next week reviewing it all. Be back from Dallas. Hopefully, maybe we can have Brett Carter on here soon. I think his semester is coming up soon for his music stuff. So hopefully, sooner or later, we can get Brett Carter back here in video and get back to do some more shows and stuff like that. But I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Just like I said in the WWE segment this week. Please, let's just have fun with this weekend. Stop thinking about booking all the time. It's not the only thing that matters in professional wrestling. Let's try to enjoy these shows. I'm going to have a blast. I'm going to send a bunch of pics. If you want to check it out on Instagram, it's at Joshie Lopez94. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Lopez Media if you want. Make sure to bookmark ProWrestlingTranscripts.com as you can follow my coverage in Dallas as well. I will be in Dallas from Friday to Tuesday. And come say hello to me, and I'd love to get to meet you guys in person. Shout out to my guy, The Undertaker, for going into the Hall of Fame. That's going to be a very emotional night for me, because Taker's my all-time favorite wrestler, and outside of CM Punk, obviously. Taker's the man, and it's going to be a special night tomorrow night. I'm very, very excited for that. So shout out to the Dead Man. For Brother Carter, I'm Joshie. Remember, folks, be the authentic product that is yourself, and always remember, nobody dictates the pace of your life but yourself and the man upstairs. I love you guys. Enjoy Stand and Deliver. Enjoy the other shows that are going on, like the Multiverse show and Lone Star Shootout and Supercard of Honor. There's a lot of great wrestling going on this weekend. So love wrestling, happy wrestling. Pick your wrestling that fits you, and be the authentic product that is yourself. I'll be back here next week to let you know my experience and talk about what should be one of the most fun WrestleManias in the last 5 to 10 years. This has been episode 303 of the Hoots Podcast. Right now, we're going to send it off to Brother Carter for this week's edition of the Thoughts of Dericho. I am Joshie Lopez. Enjoy WrestleMania, everybody. I'll talk to you next week. Yes, sir.
And now, the Thoughts of Dericho. Listen well, man.
Welcome, welcome, one and all, to the segment that's ready for the greatest weekend of wrestling every year. It is the Thoughts of Dericho, featuring the one, the only, Brother Carter. Well, we'll be using this edition, of the Thoughts of Dericho to give my predictions. For WrestleMania 38, two-night WrestleMania, the most stupendous WrestleMania of the year. It should be a great weekend of wrestling, as it always is. And I'm very much looking forward to the show. Okay, I'm going to give my predictions just based on what WWE is showing. It looks like they're showing the matches in reverse order for Saturday and then the matches of the reverse order on Sunday. It would seem, but that could be wrong. But that's what I'm going to assume at this moment, and I'm going to give my predictions in that order. We're going to start with the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs, who I love. I love Rick Boogs. I think he's absolutely hilarious. I am going to take... Oh, gosh, this is hard. I'm going to take the Usos to retain here. You know, with Nakamura, I hope that they're eventually going to put Nakamura back into singles competition. I think he's just absolutely incredible, and hopefully will be competing for world championships once he can go back to, going his own theme music and being on his own. But I'm going to take the Usos to retain their titles here. Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin. Drew McIntyre gets the win here, obviously. They're finally building to McIntyre getting the win over Happy Corbin. And then I think McIntyre will eventually be going for a world title on SmackDown following WrestleMania. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland. I'm gonna take Woods and Kofi here. Get the New Day to get their big pop and make those feel good moments as they usually have at WrestleMania. So I've got Woods and Kofi winning that match as well. Rey and Dominic Mysterio versus The Miz and Logan Paul. Gonna take the faces here. Rey and Dominic Mysterio get let's see. I'm going to go with Miz and Logan Paul. Change my mind. I'm going to go with Miz and Logan Paul, which could potentially set up the downfall between Rey and Dominic Mysterio. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with the Miz and Logan Paul to get the win there. Seth Rollins to face an opponent of Mr. McMahon's choosing on WrestleMania Saturday. I think it's pretty obvious here. It's going to be Cody Rhodes, and I'll say Cody gets the win here. I will say there's been reports that Shane McMahon is coming back. If Shane McMahon ends up being the mystery opponent, the boos that would happen would be worth the price of admission alone. That would be hilarious. But I feel the mystery opponent is Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes gets the win. Stone Cold Steve Austin confronts Kevin Owens on the KO show. I hope this isn't a match, and this is just a promo between the two. And then, we get promo, we get some screaming and yelling. Austin hits Owens with the stunner, and then we move on. So that's what I think that's going to happen with that. Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. I've got Bianca Belair winning the Raw Women's Championship. I think it's time for her to once again have another WrestleMania moment in what should be a great match. And then closing out night one, SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey. I got to take Ronda Rousey here, become your new SmackDown Women's Champion. I think she's terrific. She's probably the most fluid in the ring and just has incredible ring work. And obviously she's a superstar, no doubt. So I've got Ronda Rousey winning the SmackDown Women's Championship. Sunday's WrestleMania. Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn in an Anything Goes match. Johnny Knoxville's going to get the win, and he's going to do some sort of funny, goofy tactics. I have a feeling that Johnny Knoxville is going to be a great wrestler and is going to, because he seems like he takes it seriously. He really cares. I've got Johnny Knoxville defeating Sami Zayn in an anything goes match. Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory. I'm going to say McAfee gets the win here. Usually in these types of situations, the faces get the win. Obviously, McAfee is being built up as the face, and McAfee is fantastic in the ring. He really is. But you can tell that they're clearly all in on Austin Theory as well. So I've got Pat McAfee getting the win here, but this should be a lot of fun seeing Pat McAfee do what he does. Bobby Lashley versus Omos. Believe it or not, I'm going to take Omos here. I think that they're trying to build Omos into this monster, and Lashley's already established himself as a credible face, as a credible star. So I'm going to take Omos to get the win here, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Lashley hits Omos with the Dominator and then starts challenging for a world title again soon. RK Bro versus the Street Profits versus the Alpha Academy. Triple threat match for the Raw Tag Team Champions. I'm actually looking forward to this one. The action that we've seen on Raw from these competitors has been terrific lately. And I've got RK Bro. I've got the Street Profits winning the Raw Tag Team Championships, with Randy Orton finally hitting Riddle with the RKO and the end of RK Bro, leading to a feud with them post-WrestleMania. Women's Tag Team Champions, Queen Zelina and Carmella versus Overrated Banks and Naomi versus Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan versus Natalya and Shayna Baszler. I'm going to take Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan to win the Raw Women's Championships here. I think that we need something fresh for them to do. This Banks and Naomi is just to get them through WrestleMania. Maybe we'll see a feud between them after WrestleMania. And then I hope, as I said this before, I really hope they do something with Shayna Baszler following WrestleMania and allow her to really establish herself as a single star, because I think she's absolutely tremendous. So I've got Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan winning the Women's Tag Team Championships. Edge versus AJ Styles in a dream match. This should be terrific. I'm going to take, I'm going to take AJ Styles here to get the win, and then hopefully he gets himself back into a world title picture on Raw following WrestleMania as well. You have a lot of folks that could be challenging for a world title. But it's so hard to say because we don't know what's going to be happening here in the main event. But I gotta think that AJ Styles is going to be challenging for a world title sometime soon. So I've got AJ Styles winning his match versus Edge. And then finally, the winner-take-all championship unification match, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. This has been the best feud in wrestling for about 8 months. These are the two best wrestlers in the most complete and best wrestlers in the world right now. It's not close. Roman Reigns is clearly number one. Brock Lesnar is clearly number two. And then everyone else is somewhere at number three. How can you go against the tribal chief? Which I just can't do it. Roman Reigns, your tribal chief, the head of the table, the standard bearer, the GOAT, all of the above. Roman Reigns will win. Winner take all championship unification match and will be the sole survivor and the sole champion in WWE. And it's going to be awesome. And I don't know what happens with that. I don't know if they eventually split the belts again. I don't know what they're going to do, but I've got Roman Reigns, your tribal chief, our tribal chief, as the winner take all, the lone champion in WWE. And those are my predictions for WrestleMania 38. And that's the Thoughts of Dericho. Just a couple thoughts. And I know I didn't get a chance to submit a What the Hell is Wrong with AEW this week. Just happened to work out this way. So just a couple thoughts about that. Number one, Toni Storm is All Elite. Great. Another ex-WWE star to get lost in the shuffle. I can tell things have worked out really well for Ruby Soho. I'm kind of sad that Ricochet and Damian Priest are not on the main card. They'll probably be on the pre-show just fine, but I think Ricochet and Priest, I don't know why the mid-card titles are not being defended at WrestleMania. I'm hoping that that's the case. Maybe they'll get a match with Finn Balor or something like that, and going into maybe on the pre-show or on SmackDown tomorrow night. who knows? But I'm kind of sad they're not on the main WrestleMania card. And then my final, some other thoughts are with the whole Chris Rock, Will Smith thing. I love Will Smith. He was out of line. That's not how you handle your business. Smacking somebody in the face in the middle of, well, anytime, but in the middle of live television. It's a really bad look for Will Smith. It's a really bad look for Chris. Well, it's not really a bad look for Chris Rock. It's really a bad look for Will Smith, and it's really a bad look for the Oscars, who have been losing ratings dramatically. Hollywood is in real big trouble following this incident, so just keep that in mind. And then my final thought for everybody is enjoy this weekend. Enjoy WrestleMania weekend. A lot of stuff going on with the NXT Stand and Deliver show, with 2-night WrestleMania. All the events going on that weekend. It's going to be a tremendous weekend of wrestling action. Enjoy it, and remind yourself why you're a wrestling fan.
This has been the Thoughts of Dericho. You're smarter now, man.